Welcome to your writing lesson, boys and girls, and welcome back to school. For your writing lesson today, we're going to revisit our learning target of writing a friendly letter. You might remember right before Christmas break, we were writing to Santa to talk to him about what we'd like for Christmas. We even asked him a question, and we ended our letter with a salutation or a closing. So, our components of a friendly letter are the date and the greeting, which is the beginning. Sometimes we even add a question for the beginning. And then in the middle of our Santa letter, we ask for the things we'd like for Christmas. And at the end of the letter, we wrote a closing with a sincerely. Today, we're going to write a friendly letter again. And this time we are going to write a thank you letter to Santa. We won't be needing our questions unless you would like to ask him one at the very end. I might do that if we get the time. So here is my friendly letter that I've started to Santa. I'm going to write a thank you letter to him for what I got for Christmas. So the very first thing you would write on your thank you letter is the date. Today's date is January 4th, 2021. Whoa, it's not 2020 anymore, boys and girls. The date changed. We're in a new year, but we're still in first grade because our school year starts in the middle of a year and not at the beginning of a year. Okay, so make sure when you're writing your thank you letter to Santa, or you could write to a thank you letter to grandma or grandpa, your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, as long as you're writing a thank you letter to somebody, that'll work just fine. Okay, so here is our date at the top. And remember, we indent or we push it over just a little bit. You don't need the arrow, I'm just showing you where to put it. And here's our greeting. Dear Santa is our greeting, and he is so important. The person that you're writing to is always very important. So we leave just dear and their name on that line. We don't finish the line with anything else. We want them to know they're important. So we sweep down to our next line. And instead of asking Santa a question this time, I'm going to start right out by thanking him. So if you're thanking grandma or grandpa, that would be fine too. But I'm going to start with the word thank. And we've talked about the word thank because it has th, a, nka, nka. So it has a digraph at the beginning, th, nka at the end. And then we're going to write you over here, not the letter U, the word you. Thank you. And then I'm going to make sure I put my spaces in so that he can read it very clearly. Thank you for. I'm going to make this just a little bigger. Woo, not that big. Thank you for, and I'm going to name a series of things that he got for me. So the first thing that I'm going to write is thank you for the THE for the remote. Remote. And it's got a magic E on it to make the O say O. Remote. Space. And now I'm going to try to write control. And it sounds like a U, but I know it's a O. For the remote control, and I'm going to say car. So I really didn't get a remote control car for Christmas, but I'm going to pretend that I'm more like a first grader today. Thank you for the remote control car, and I'm going to put a comma because I want to add a series. And then I'm going to make a horizontal list with the again. And I'm going to say that I got a Star Wars movie because I just think those are so fun to watch. Star Wars. The Star Wars movie. And I'm going to make or write one more thing, so I'm still inside my list. Thank you for the remote control car, the Star Wars movie, comma. I'm making a horizontal list, and I think I can fit glove or the in here. And then gloves, I'm going to put down here. And gloves. So remember, we always get some things we want for Christmas, and then we get some things that we need for Christmas. So gloves are a need, and Star Wars movie and remote control car is a want. So a good writer always goes back and reads what they've written so far before they go on. So January 4th, I've got my date up here, January 4th, 2021. Dear Santa is my greeting. Dear Santa, thank you for the remote control car, the Star Wars movie, and the gloves. Okay, so I put 3 things in my horizontal list. And now I'm going to give one detail to Santa about what I like the most. And I'm going to pretend that I really liked my remote control car the most. So I'm going to give him a detail about my car. And I'm going to say, I love, and notice I put an uppercase after my period because after a stoplight always comes a green light, uppercase go. I love my I think I'm going to try to erase that. I'm going to switch that to I love giving. Giving my, I'm at the end of my sentence. I'm going to sweep down. I love giving my stuffed. It's not a T, it's a ED. It sounds like a T though. I love giving my stuffed animals more than one. I love giving my stuffed animals a ride on my new remote control car. Remote. Let's see if I can fit him. Control. Okay, I'm going to go sweep down to my next page on my new remote control car. Okay, and I have 2 sentences now for Santa. Let's go back and read. January 4th, 2021. Dear Santa, thank you for the remote control car, the Star Wars movie, and the gloves. I love giving my stuffed animals a ride on my new remote control car. So I think I'm going to put an exclamation mark on that one because I want to show some emotion on that. Okay, and that is just the 2 sentences you need today, but I'm just going to add one more thing for Santa. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. I didn't ask Santa a question this time, but if you wanted to, you could ask him a question right at this spot. Instead of at the beginning, we could put it at the end. Okay, now we're going to put our closing. Our closing is sincerely. It's a hard word, so when you sound that out, it's sincerely. Sincerely. Oops. See if I can get it to go up here. Sincerely, and I'll just put JoJo. We'll pretend I'm still that little first grader. Sincerely needs to be a comma, not a period. There we go. Okay, and I accidentally made that line when I was going up. Okay, let's go all back and see how we did. Okay, so our learning target, boys and girls, was to write a friendly letter. And in the friendly letter, we made a horizontal list today. So I'm going to change my color to red, and I'm going to highlight some things. So let's see, maybe I could actually use the highlighter. All right, so now we have January 4th, 2021. Dear Santa. There we go. And this is the very first sentence. Thank you for the remote control car, the Star Wars movie, and the gloves. That is my first sentence right there. And so I would like you to try a sentence with three things, and then give one detail about one of the things he brought you. I love giving my stuffed animals a ride on my new remote control car. Yes, I hope you had a wonderful Christmas. Sincerely, Jojo. Okay, now it's your turn, boys and girls, to write a friendly letter to Santa, to your grandparents, to mom and dad, even to your brother or sister, your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, and thank them for something. And make sure you put the date, your greeting, your list in here with commas, and your closing. Those are all parts of a friendly letter. Thank you, boys and girls. Can't wait to see your letter.